So welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom and time for another top 5. So for those who haven't seen these videos before, I've been running through, well, started at tier 6 and now on tier 7, looking at the top 5 damage dealing heavies, mediums, tank destroyers and scouting light tanks for each tier. Top 5 of those in reverse order, then the gameplay from the number 1 by somebody who plays it really well, and then we look at the bottom 3. And I have to say, these have all thrown up some really surprising things to me, surprising results to me along the line. Some obvious things like the E25 being the top damage dealing tank destroyer at tier 7, that did not surprise me at all, but some other things certainly have. And this, the mediums at tier 7, has certainly surprised me more than anything else. And I'll be interested to see in the comments down below whether you all agree. Anyway, let's get cracking. So first of all, at number 5 in the top damage dealing tanks of tier 7 for medium category, this is according to VBAddicts. They're looking at statistics across all servers over the last 30 days, is the A44, the Russian medium tank, the rear turret mounted medium tank. 17,000 games, 662.78 average damage, and it's a bit of an oddity. It's got a I didn't like this tank myself personally. I know some people love this line particularly, but it's got a very good gun, so that's probably why it does so much damage. 5.71 rounds per minute on this 107mm gun. 167 pen with standard, 219 with a skill round, 300 average damage is very nice. 0.45 dispersion is pretty horrific, and aim time of 3.4 is also not particularly great, but it's a fairly mobile, stealthy sort of medium stroke tank destroyer, and it comes in at number 5. So at number 4 for top damage dealing medium tanks at tier 7 is one of the newer tanks in the game. This is the Swedish tier 7 medium tank, the Leo. Yeah, this is a weird one. When I first played this tank on the test server, I absolutely loved it, and then they nerfed it and it came on the real server, and it was an acquired taste, shall we say. So fairly mobile, in fact more than fairly mobile, a very mobile medium tank. 500 horsepower engine giving it 19.75 power ratio, top speed of 60, traverse speed of 39.6, so sort of almost light category. Coupled with that, well, this was part of my problem with this tank. Coupled with it, it has a 100mm gun, which people seem to love, which is 5.33 rounds per minute, only 155 pen, well, only 155 pen, and 300 average damage, but the dispersion is horrible, 0.42, and the aim time is also horrible, 3. And I found that gun really hard, and actually was shooting Scoot told me, why don't you go back and play the 75mm, which I did, which is the second gun on this tank, which is, to me, an altogether vastly superior gun. Allows you to use the speed gun depression on this Leo much more effectively. So 13.3 rounds per minute, 148 pen, 200 with its skill rounds, only 150 damage, but when you're pumping out the shells as rapidly as this, it makes all the difference. And your aim time is 1.8 without any equipment or crew skills. Put my teeth back in. And 0.33 dispersion. So I preferred the 75, but I know people love the 100. The 10 centimeter derpy type gun is very effective. But this thing comes in, as I say, at number 4, 41,500 games, 678.81 average damage per game. Number 4. So number 3 was a bit of a surprise to me, because I think the T20, the American tier 7 medium, is somewhat underappreciated, but clearly has its fans, because there's a lot of people playing this. So 40,000 games in the last 30 days according to VBAddicts, 684.55 average damage, and it's a nice, I actually really like this tank. I thought it was quite fun, but it doesn't get many plaudits, that's for sure. Has a very well, pretty effective gun, a 90mm gun, 6.38 rounds per minute, 160 pen, 243 with its skill rounds and the ubiquitous 240 average damage. Dispersion 0.38 is workable. Aim time's not so great, 2.3, but you can of course improve that with gun lane drive and all this kind of thing. And it's a pretty mobile medium. 56 kph, 18 power ratio is very useful. Pretty small engine, only 560, but it is a lightweight tank. So yeah, this thing comes in number 3 in terms of damage dealt in the last 30 days according to VBAddicts. So number 2 in terms of damage dealt across the last 30 days across all servers in tier 7 medium tanks is this thing. This is the Czech tier 7 medium, the T34-100. A tank I recently some time ago rebought, having worked my way through the Czech line, because actually I quite liked it and I have a thing about T34 variants. I know, a bit kinky, but there you go. It's a rather effective medium tank. It only has the chassis of a tier, well, what, 6, but the gun of a tier 8, and that's probably why it does so well. Obviously has its fans, nearly 43,000 games over the last 30 days. 703.04 average damage is pretty darn good. Carries this 100mm gun, as the name of the tank would suggest. 7.06 rate of fire is actually not bad at all. A very impressive 175 pen on a tier 7 medium tank is very, very good. 250 if you hit the skill key. 250 average damage. Dispersion, you pay a little bit for that gun, 0.38, and aim time of 2.4, but that, again, that can be improved with obviously gun lane drive and all that kind of stuff. So you've basically got a relatively mobile medium tank with a big ass derpy gun that you know, a tier 8 tank would be proud of, and that's why it does so well, I guess, at this tier. I was surprised that it was this high in the charts, because I didn't think people liked to play it, but clearly it's one of the, in fact, I think looking at the stats, it's number 3 in terms of played tanks of all the 12 medium tanks at tier 7. So clearly it has its fans and it performs pretty well. So top for damage dealing at tier 7 surprised me a little bit, but then I thought about it and thought, well, actually, who would I think would be the top at the charts? This is the Panther M10. This is the premium tier 7 German medium tank. Surprise, surprise. It has preferential matchmaking, which probably helps its matchmaking and damage dealing across the different games it plays in. Smaller sample, 18,700 games, but a whopping 768.12 damage per game average across the last 30 days according to our friends at VBAddicts. And yeah, I get it. It had, from what I remember, was it 3 patches ago, a fairly significant buffing, because up to that point it was a pretty weak medium tank, frankly, but it's actually quite effective. Still not got the best gun. I mean, it is a preferential matchmaking tank, so you wouldn't expect it to have the best gun in the West, but then I think most people who use this tank fire premium all the time, so your standard penetration of 150 goes up to 194 with premium rounds, which is more than enough for the tanks you're going to be going up against. Only 135 average damage, but a DPM of over 2,000 is very, very good without any equipment mounted. Dispersion, well, it's German, so it's accurate, 0.32 is pretty good. Aim time's not great, 2.3, but you know, I've got a reasonable crew here. I've got vents. What's my accuracy going down to? Yeah, 0.3, an aim time of 2.16. So, you know, you can get that down pretty well. Mobility wise, well, it's not the fastest, but it's not the slowest either. It's a real middler. 15 power ratio, 55 top speed. Very nice traverse speed, 44.88. It's a sniping medium, and it's very, very good at that, and there's a lot of very good players who like playing it clearly out there. I have to say, using a lot of premium, but hey, that's the world of tanks these days. So, surprise you or not, that was the number 1 in the charts. Let me know down below. And that's going to see somebody playing this really, really well. Okay, so it did take a little bit of hunting to find games where people weren't just spamming the gold in the M10, and I don't mind firing a bit of gold, but just when it's constant it just got a bit wearing and didn't really show off this vehicle to its best. Excuse me. So this is Branislav 1234, and he is a very average player, win rate of about 1100, win rate of 49%, but he's going to have one of those monster games that you have every so often that makes you come back for more. He is obviously driving our hero here, the top damage dealing medium tank at tier 7, the M10, and he's on Ruinberg, and he's got himself into the city, and he's going to try and influence. Bounces that T34-1. Look at him just making a fool of that T34-1. A bit of heavy assistance come up, so now he's decided, you know, don't really want to be fighting two of them. So he still wants that Chinese thingy there, but no joy with that shot, unfortunately. Is that T34 going to come round again? He's thinking about it. I know he is. We all know he is. Only a matter of moments. Yep. Oh no, there's the ARL 44. There's our friend. Look at the reload on this gun. Fantastic. And he's tracked him in place. Oh my lord. Well, he bounces the shot there, so his armor working well. Can he finish this guy off? I think you got a chance here. Boom, first kill. Can he get the Type 58 at the back? Type 58 was firing HE. Well, of course he was. Look at this. Just the accuracy and the reload speed of this gun is just brilliant. It's what makes it such a good tank. Look at this. Wonderful shooting. I say this guy is nothing special in terms of stats. He's just an average Joe. Now he's being helped by the fact these guys keep coming forward to the same place, and he can just keep popping shell after shell. Got this guy now. Look at the reload. Bang. Type 58 completely foxed by the quick reload. Now he's going to use the little bit of mobility that this tank has. It's not really a mobile tank, but there's the ARL, puts a shot into him, blocks the shot from the ARL from his side. My goodness me, nicely done. Now he's going to try and get a bit of booty sex, is he, on this ARL? ARL should know he's coming. Is he going to be paying attention? Looks like he's good. No, he's not. What a surprise. Oh, there's an OI even. OI's not really much to fear against him. Well, he doesn't have to fear the OI much from here. Well, he does if he gets smacked by that big ass gun, but look at this. He can just keep shooting him through those gaps. We'll miss that one. Ah, he shot his teammate. Not very helpful, that VK driving straight through. Puts a shot in. Oh, is he going to take a hit? Now this is dangerous. Driving in amongst a KV and an OI. Oh, that KV's got the wrong gun. He's only got the 107mm. Means you're safe for a bit. Oh, and he even blocks the shot. But he's been hit by artillery and tracked in place. But he's got this KV2 bang to rights and takes him down. And that is his 5th kill. Oh, flipping heck, he's just hit another ally. Jeez, this VK keeps getting in the way. That was a good shot. Pulled away too quickly though. Can he get this T43? Yeah, come on, got him. Reload on this is far too quick. Ah, and he missed him. Artillery behind. Boom. Another one who's misjudged the speed of play. Oh no, that's a whole different kettle of fish. That is not something we want to be facing, not frontally at least. So it's going to go balls deep on the T43, take him down. That is his top gun secured, using what mobility he's got to get out the way of the Russian tank destroyer that was following him, the Su-100. Now he's going to try and get... Oh, here comes the artillery. And that's an easy kill. Comes the Sioux. Can he track him in place? Tries to track him, but no joy. But the Sioux's got only eyes for our IS friend. Takes a shot up the Jaxie. Ooh, nasty hit from the 44, sorry. Too many numbers. Don't shoot your teammate again, even accidentally. They're both trying to flank this guy. Shoot him in the wheel. Oh, missed him. Trying to track him. You can see he's trying to track, but not having much joy because the penetration power of this gun is not the best. It's a fast far range. Now he's got him bang to rights. Look at this. Tracked him in place. Keeps hitting that front drive wheel, immobilizing and destroying him, and the Sioux is just, well, sued really. Okay, so team is 12-7 up. He now has 8 kills. 8 kills, 4,200 damage. Sorry about all the jolting around. That's the way he's played it. Nothing to do with me. He's a bit of a shaker. Maybe it's something he did in his youth. I don't know. So he's decided that there's no point pursuing that T34. Is it T34-85 up there? Whatever it is up there. Oh no, the A44. And he's decided, oh, look at that snapshot. There you go. That's this gun in operation. Now then, bit of catchy mousy now. Oh, who's going to blink first? Who's going to be round? Is he going to be looking that way? The birds just can't react in time. That is his 9th kill. 9 kills, 4,500 damage. 2 enemy tanks left. That A44 is still hanging on in the middle against what was about 3 friendly tanks. There's also an MT25 who is now getting in on the action. Right. The Type 64 is saying all reports the M10 is not a fair player. No, he's actually played pretty well, and that's not very fair, is it? Let's be honest. We don't want fair play. People actually playing properly. Right, okay. Now those guys all went up. What was it? 4 of them against that A44, and couldn't manage to get him done. But never mind. We got him in the end. GG. What a game. So I love the fact that his own teammate was accusing him of using aimbot. That's just brilliant. Just brilliant. Oh well, never mind. Branislav finished up there. He actually got his second mark of excellence on the Panther, so he obviously likes it. It was also an ace tanker, hand of God, bruiser, duelist, fire for effect. Got Pascucci's medal for taking down 2 artillery. Pool's medal for taking down 10 enemy vehicles. He got steel wool and a top gun. Finished up 4,583 damage, 10 kills, 1910 base XP. Where's our sourpuss down here? Oh yeah, bottom of the tree. Yeah, he did nothing and accuses the guy who did everything of using aimbots. Oh well. There you go. He fired 59 shots. He hit with 54 and penned with 39. Took 12 hits himself, 5 of which penned, 7 miraculously bounced. He did hit his friends, but that was purely because that VK rolled out straight in front of him. And look at he was obviously running some reserves there, but made 200,000 credits. Didn't really fire any premium, so managed to make 151,000 profit in a tier 7 medium tank. Very nice indeed. And with his ×5, it was obviously a couple of weekends ago this game, ×5 for the victory, 14,898 experience for his crew. So there you go. There's somebody showing you how to use the Panther M10. I wish I was as good as he was at it. I'm not that good. Anyway, on with the charts. So you've seen the best, let's see the rest. And the third from bottom, so actually number 10 in the charts for damage dealing at tier 7 for medium tanks, surprised me a little bit because Russian tanks tend to be very popular and overpowered. And this is the Russian T34, which actually I didn't think was a bad tank. I guess it suffers a little bit that it's sort of sitting between tanks that people want to move on to and tanks that people quite liked, but I think it's quite an effective medium, this one. So comes with the obligatory 85mm cannon, 11.1 rounds per minute, 144 pen, 194 with premium, 180 average damage, 2000 DPM is not to be sniffed at, dispersion of 0.37 and aim time of 2.3. I guess part of the problem with this tank, it's a bit of a sort of tank. It's sort of in between. A lot of games played. It's the most played tank on the servers at the moment. 59,000 games, and there's still a reasonable damage ratio, 600.19 average damage per game. But it comes in statistically quite low, so it's Russians, so expect a buff fairly soon, I guess. Only 51 power top speed, 17 power ratio. It's just a bit of nothing really, and I think that's probably why it is down there, third from bottom. So this one certainly did surprise me. So second from bottom in terms of damage dealt at tier 7 for medium tanks across all the servers in the last 30 days was the British tier 7 Comet. Now famously, or infamously, Quickie Babe, the YouTuber personality, suggested this is his favourite tank in the game, and when you see him and others play this tank really well, it's a one you always think it's almost verging on the overpowered scenario, but actually, you know, a lot of people clearly struggle with it. Nearly 47,500 games, 582.16 average damage is not particularly great when you're considering the top one's doing 768, and I guess it's just one of those things. It's people love the Cromwell, and they like the Centurion, and this thing sort of sits in between, stops you getting on and up the game, but it's got, you know, a reasonably effective gun, 77mm gun, 15 rounds per minute. Like all British guns tend to have really fast firing guns, not much alpha, only 140 alpha, 148 pen, 208 if you hit the skill key, dispersion of 0.34 and aim time of 2.3, so nothing particularly special. It's a fairly mobile medium. I think that's why Quickie likes it so much. 650 horsepower engine, 19.88 power ratio, is getting up towards a light tank. Only 51 kph, but wow, it gets around well. But yeah, a bit of surprise that it was this low in the charts. So this is, I thought maybe it might finish in the top 5 at least, but nope, bottom 2. So bottom of the pile, statistically the worst medium tank for damage dealing across all servers. Actually also was a bit of a surprise to me. This is the Russian tier 7 medium, the KV-13. No, it doesn't get played that much, 13,201 games in the last 30 days, but only a measly 555.68 average damage per game. That's over 200 less than the Panther M10, and it's weird to think why, because this thing is actually, I think it's quite an effective medium. It's one of its weirdities is that a word? It actually has pretty good armor for a medium, so 120 on the hull, and it's quite well sloped there, not bad at all. 100 on the turret, so it can bounce a few shells, and that will surprise people of the same tier or lower, because they expect to be able to shoot through mediums fairly easily. It's relatively mobile as well, 50 kph, 16.42 average damage, 16.42 power ratio, and it also has a pretty reasonable gun. This 85mm top gun, 10.4 rounds per minute, 144 pen, 194 with premium rounds, 180 average damage, 1800, nearly 1900 DPM is pretty reasonable at tier 7. Dispersion is very good, 0.37, aim time 2.3, so surprises me a little bit that it's so far down and it's left in the lurch so much, because I think it's quite an effective tank. So that surprised me. Both the bottom two surprised me, the Comet and the KV-13 being so low in the charts. But anyway, let me know what you think down below. So I hope you found that useful and interesting. If you did, please give it a like and let me know what you think down below. Are you surprised by that top 5 and the bottom 3? I say I'm surprised by a few of them, that's for sure. Certainly didn't expect the Comet to be as low, didn't expect the T20 to be as high. Wasn't sure who would be number 1 in my book, but anyway, the full list is in the comments in the description of the video above, so all 12 tanks you can look at and see where your favourite sits. And as I say, this all came from VBAddicts website, who compile data from all the servers, and you can go in and look at the performance based on all kinds of criteria, different tiers of tanks, blah blah blah, for the last 30 days. So that's where all these stats came from. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And in the meantime, enjoy your games, have fun, try not to take it too seriously, and I'll see you again soon. This is GamerDom signing out.